Twinflame Divine Feminine reading for November. And I've already blessed and shuffled the cards, and we shall begin. For the energy to let go, we have the Seven of Swords. The energy to embrace, we have the Knight of Cups. And for position of yet to come, we have the Hermit. In the environment, you have the Chariot. And energy to receive, the Queen of Cups, beautiful. Energy to give, the Two of Cups. We move out of the way so that you can see the cards. And for the overall lesson, we have the Six of Swords. Really interesting. Wow. And for the overall energy, we have the King of Cups. So I'll be with you in one moment. Hello again. Wow, soul sister Leos. I'm basically doing the Leo reading first, as I am also Leo. And I can tell you these energies are definitely resonating with me. So let's see if any of you resonate as well and on a similar path. So starting with the King of Cups. Interesting, because underneath that is the Nine of Wands, which very much feels like a completion of these burdens that we've been carrying now for a while. Self-imposed burdens under that Eight of Swords. The sense of feeling stuck and confused has now lifted, and yes, indeed, here we are, Leo's the Strength card. This is all connected to the Lionsgate energy, this journey of stepping into our power, believing in ourselves, and trusting our inner guidance and intuition. So those are just the energies at the bottom of the deck. But that all reflects this card, that's the overall energy of the reading. So the King of Cups, Leos are very much at a point or very close to a breaking through a threshold point of mastering themselves, of mastering their subconscious mind, their emotions, and knowing themselves. There's basically been this long journey, this commitment to self-growth, to personal development, to self-realization. And this card is very much pointing towards that being an energy that is actually unfolding, knowing oneself, not being a slave to our emotions, but rather being able to learn from them and actually derive power from them. So Leos are very much in a point of breaking through their ego, and ego in the sense of our shadow selves, being driven from a higher place rather from our base subconscious fears, and really having brought those fears and subconscious emotions up to the surface and being aware of them and the wisdom that has come from that. So this path has by no means been an easy one. It's a difficult, challenging journey that you've been on. But there's really a sense finally of this coming to the surface, being able to breathe again. That sort of light at the end of the tunnel, feeling that we can rise above it all, and just trusting in that truth, that inner guidance, to lead us and guide us forward. And of course, there's that enlightenment that can be reached for a moment. There's that moment of insight that this mastery points towards, that, as humans perhaps we can't maintain. But there is a sense that through this experience of even a moment of truth and understanding, there's a real shift, a growth in consciousness, and awareness, and that means that you'll never quite be the same. You're never going to see life from the same perspective again. So it's really being at a place where you've mastered your emotions and understanding that they have meaning, that they are actually a form of guidance, showing you what's happening under the surface, and being more in touch with that, and feeling those emotions and understanding the messages and the guidance that comes from the heart, which is where our emotions are communicating from. So beautiful overall energy for Leos here. So for the energy to let go, we have Seven of Swords within this deck, the Mariel Tarot, which I love. Shows the raven who's stealing the sun from the gods to bring light to the earth. So I'm feeling this is very much about letting go of this period of confusion again that appeared at the bottom of the deck. There's been this long journey, this sense of a struggle, long path of struggles and challenges. And this is really signaling that it's time to let these go, to move forward. And there's a real knowledge and belief in oneself that has been reached, and the confidence that comes from that, and this ability to transcend beyond societal norms and what others have expected of you, and feeling that, those around you weren't perhaps on the same page, and feeling a bit disconnected from that, and wondering perhaps what was wrong with you, and why did you not feel, like you could resonate with those other people around you that you do actually care about, or, perhaps people from your childhood or your past. There was this real sense of being stuck and confused around that disconnection. So this is really a message to leave this in the past, that it's time to move forward beyond that Leos have very much overcome caring what other people think. And it's not that they don't care, it's just this strong sense of self, this self-directed belief that's coming from a much higher place that's guiding them. And it's really about moving forward now from this place where you're feeling more integrated. You've understood those darker aspects of yourself, and they're in your awareness, and you've sort of integrated them, and you're using that balance to drive and direct you forward towards this new sense of purpose and understanding that you have within yourself. So this is really about the free will that you have and your own intention to actually direct yourself and your life, taking responsibility for who you are and reflecting that in your actions and choices in your life. And that's really what you're stepping into right now. There's this courage and certainty and clarity of purpose moving forward, where there's this real determination to create your life moving forward to your reaching your highest potential, your magnum opus. So really bringing the gifts that you have, that only you have, to the world, and sharing that with others. Really beautiful. So in the energy to embrace, we have the Knight of Cups. And in this particular deck, the Knight of Cups features this knight who's on a quest for the Holy Grail. So the Holy Grail was traditionally the cup of Jesus that he drank from at the Last Supper. And when he was on the cross, a Roman soldier pierced his side, and the blood and the water was caught into this Holy Grail, this cup. And so there's really this meaning of the blood and the water being signifying both human and divine, and the miraculous healing powers from that. So I'm really feeling that there's a lot of healing that's taken place, and moving, connected to the card before, there's stepping forward. The feminine is moving very much into this sense of wholeness. Knights are about taking action. And of course, this could also signify this love coming in, potentially a water sign, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, but not necessarily. I'm really seeing this as signifying the grail in the deeper sense, which is about your purpose, the meaning in life that comes from your heart. So that real path of the Leo, of stepping into authentic truth, having the strength and courage to be true to herself, and actually taking action towards that. So sort of acting as you speak, or whatever the expression is, that is not coming to me now, but her actions reflecting her ideals, her values, her strength and courage moving forward. And that's really reflecting now in the choices that you're taking, and connecting that to your purpose, your reason for being here, your meaning that you're giving to your life, which is a really key driving force right now. So this red and white colours that reflecting this water and this blood symbolism, and I'm really understanding this also as the sacred marriage of that integration, a sense of alchemy of the self and the ego. So again, the ego is in your wounds, your shadow self. And holding this grail basically requires divine energy, combined with a deeper knowledge of oneself, that experience, and compassion that comes with that. So yes, I really feel there's this movement, this taking action towards healing oneself, to walking away from whatever it was that had wounded you, and this readiness to move beyond it, to move past it, to grow above it, to rise above it, to integrate it. So this really deep sense of healing that's being embraced by the feminine Leo right now. And so for energy yet to come, perfect that the Hermit would appear after that. So Hermit also represents Virgo in the astrology relation to the tarot, but it doesn't have to mean that that is the connection necessarily, but that might mean something for some of you. So the Hermit is really pointing towards this need to step away from socializing, from other people, from social situations, really needing to go within and go through this deep healing. But I feel like this is beyond healing now. There's this real need and drive for the feminine Leo to connect with her higher self. She's basically taking it to the next level with this healing that's taken place, this integration and balance. She's basically able now to connect to higher energies, to very committed to going within and doing the work necessary to overcome whatever challenges that and struggles that she's been experiencing, and moving beyond that, and sort of accepting her responsibility to grow beyond that now that those lessons have been learned and those cycles have closed. She's kind of at that point of questioning, what's next? What's the next level? How much higher can she reach? And not just for herself, but really with this strong desire and this passion to share this learning and this wisdom with others, and to help others. So there's this real sense of wholeness and completion that the feminine is feeling right now, feminine Leos, and the desire to channel that towards a higher purpose, a higher attainment, a higher level of spiritual wisdom and personal growth, self-realization, basically. And so I'm seeing this again in the environment position with the Chariot, integrating these two energies to create a third energy, with reason basically driving the chariot of yin and yang. In this card, it's represented by the wolves, and traditionally it's the white and the black sphinx. So that's really talking about the need for action. The Leo woman is now in a place of taking action. It's not enough for her to desire something and have the will to attain this next level, but the action that needs to be taken and the work she needs to put into it to achieve this higher level. So the Chariot in the tarot sort of signifies and symbolizes the map of the soul, or God, and the universe. And Plato used the chariot as a metaphor of the soul in three parts. So there's, again, the black horse and the white horse, and the reason which brings them together and drives the horses forward. So the charioteer, representing you, would be balancing these energies within yourself and reaching that higher state of understanding through that work that the feminine is now putting into her journey, her path towards self-realization. And so this is, really what's driving her now, and she's fully aware that this is not an easy path, and is just surrendering with complete faith, putting herself in a situation where it's her entire purpose and what is driving her forward, and her entire motivation at this time to reach this new level of knowledge and mastery, and is basically being initiated to this new level. So traditionally in Jewish mysticism, the Merkaba was the chariot of God. It's basically relating to ascension, and I can put a little video along with, you can see below, I'll add a link that can talk more about that if you're interested. But it's basically based on the mystical vision of Ezekiel, as the Merkaba was the divine light vehicle that was used by ascended masters to connect and reach those with connections to higher realms. Basically, it's about transcending, it's about ascension, and that's really the path that the Leo woman is now committed to and is focusing all her devotion and attention on at this time. It's beautiful, and it's really resonating with me, I can tell you. With the energy to receive, we have the Queen of Cups, which is just beautiful. So there's this real sense of union, which can be read as an integration of different aspects of herself, but also the union with her counterpart that is drawn into her life. So as within, so without, there's this sense of growth that you reach where you find you've drawn in the equal energy, the mirror, the outside equivalent of the path that you're on. You find this in another person, and I really feel this energy is ready to come in, or the feminine is open to receiving this now, and understanding that it's something that is born from this work that she's put into herself, is this integration of the masculine and the feminine within herself. But yes, beautiful energy of this counterpart. There's an absolute definite message of union that may resonate for some of you, but this is obviously a general reading, and if you want more details, do contact me and I can do a personal reading to see how this fits more for your personal situation. But there's a definite energy of an integration, a union, soulmate, counterpart, however you want to understand that. And this is really about the feminine having mastered her emotions, having reached a point where she's able to create an environment where love is given and received. So there's this real balance and exchange of love, being given and received equally, and she's finally understanding that that's what she wants and deserves, and that's what she's giving, and is open now also to having that reciprocated and allowing that type of a relationship to grow and enter into her life. She's really valuing her emotions, and guidance really is to allow them to guide her and understand that all emotions have a reason, and they're trying to show you something that still needs to be seen or integrated or healed. And so she's understanding that with a lot of patience and trusting and surrendering to knowing that whatever is meant for her will come in. So the Queen of Cups is the Holy Grail. She's basically the reservoir and container of all our wisdom, all the shadow emotions, the darkest places, the hope that you find in those darkest moments. That's what she represents, really, like a pearl of wisdom that you can see in this card as a symbol of her purpose in life, and the reason that's driving her to move forward is really the wisdom that she's built from the experiences that she's had, and she's really not looking back with any regret or resentment, and is very much understanding the beauty and gifts in her journey, and the wisdom that she's gained from that and can now share with others. So if you think of pearls as being this beautiful aspect of nature which is built through time, layer by layer, slowly and gradually, until something beautiful and precious is born. And that's really a great analogy of where the Leo woman is right now. And water shapes the earth over long periods of time, which is beautifully described by Marielle Thoreau. So it's about one drop at a time, one wave at a time, a grain of sand at a time. It's sort of wearing away at the rock and shapes mountains. Water is the source of life. Water and emotions, and mastering them is really the energy that she needs to receive right now. So energy to give. 2 of Cups. And this card represented by the white and red horse. Again, the white and red, kind of connecting that to the Holy Grail, the blood and the water from the Knight of Cups. So this is really a strong message about healing again. Healing the two halves of herself, of her heart, and obviously the union, the partnership, soulmate connection that's finally coming together. But also the energies, the two different energies that's being integrated by the chariot. The yin and the yang, the good and the bad, her shadow self, and the integration and wholeness and completeness that you feel, and sharing that with her partner, or sharing that with another, or sharing that with others. So it's about understanding the care and the equilibrium that's needed to move forward, to keep these horses balanced and moving together in a beautiful way that's basically driven by unconditional love. So there's this real sense of peace and integration and coming home in this whole reading. This is just beautiful. So the overall lesson, we have the Six of Swords, which in the Mariel Tarot is depicting Archangel Raphael, incredibly traditionally known as the healer or physician of God. So Raphael banishes the darkness and the shadows through healing, guiding, caring and teaching, and can really be thought as well as an aspect of ourselves. So our higher self that can lead and assist our weaker aspects or sort of darker, lower emotions. And so it's really all about healing the inner child that's taken place. And I really feel that all this work and development and commitment to self that the Leo has been on is basically reached a point of integration and healing and understanding and the lessons that have been learned and cycles that are being closed, and just all aspects working together in perfect harmony, and the connectedness that brings her and sharing that with others. Just really beautiful reading. I'm just blown away really by the combination of cards. So I'm now going to pick a card from the Osho Tarot deck and see what is the final guidance that wants to come through. For us fellow Leos. Transformation, indeed. 13, so that's equivalent of the Death card, which of course some people fear, but I don't see any of the cards as a bad card. And this Death is really like the butterfly, in fact. Transformation, as Osho reads it. And so I'm going to read directly from the Osho book, page 28. A master in Zen is not simply a teacher. In all the religions, there are only teachers. They teach you about subjects which you don't know, and they ask you to believe because there's no way to bring those experiences into objective reality. Neither has the teacher known them. He has believed them. He transfers his belief to someone else. Zen is not a believer's world. It's not for the faithful. It's for those daring souls who can drop all belief, unbelief, doubt, reason, mind, and simply enter their pure existence without boundaries. But it brings a tremendous transformation. Hence, let me say that while others are involved in philosophy, Zen is involved in metamorphosis. into transformation. It is authentic alchemy. It changes you from base metal into gold. But its language has to be understood, not with your reasoning and intellectual mind, but with your loving heart. Or even just listening, not bothering whether it's true or not. And a moment comes suddenly that you see it, which has been eluding your whole life. Suddenly, what Buddha called the 84,000 doors open. The central figure in this card sits atop the vast flower of the void, and holds the symbols of transformation. The sword that cuts through illusion, the snake that rejuvenates itself by shedding its skin, the broken chain of limitations, and the yin-yang symbol of transcending duality. One of its hands rests upon its lap, open and receptive. The other reaches down to touch the mouth of a sleeping face, symbolizing the silence that comes when we are at rest. This is a time for a deep let go. Allow any pain, sorrow, difficulty just to be there, accepting its facticity. It's very much like the experience of Buddha when, after years of seeking, he finally gave up, knowing there was nothing more that he could do. That very night, he became enlightened. Transformation comes, like death, in its own time, and like death, it takes you from one dimension into another. Beautiful message here. So for me, this is really speaking to this new level, this rebirth, this cocoon-like state that the Leo woman has been in and is now ready to break out of, this new way of being, seeing and experiencing the world, and her new purpose that she's using as the meaning in her life moving forward, which is to reach these higher states of awareness and transcending her earthly challenges and experiences, and moving towards her self-realization or ascension in the collective sense. Just beautiful, Leos. I hope that resonated with you or some of you. It's obviously a general reading, but please do get in touch if you would like to have a more personal understanding of this reading. We can go deeper. Much love to you.